Good day. This is Brian Darmody, CEO of AURP, on the 35th anniversary of our nonprofit representing research parks and innovation districts, hosted by universities, government labs, hospital systems, and cities around the globe. 35 years ago, some visionary leaders gathered in the Arizona sun in Tempe to form our association. Over the years, we've had management firms and CEOs, along with AURP presidents, board members, regular members, and sponsors to help guide the growth of AURP. So we thought a great way to finish 2021 was to present the thoughts from past AURP management firms and past AURP CEOs. As you will hear, AURP has had its ups and downs over the years, but as we close out our 35th anniversary, we hope you will enjoy the recollections of Jeff Finkel, Bill Drohan, who headed management firms for AURP, and past AURP CEOs Eileen Walker and Carol Stewart. We hope to see you at the AURP Spring Training this February in Arizona, our BioHealth Caucus meeting in June in San Diego, and our international conference in Toronto in September. So hope you have a great holiday season and a happy new year. Thanks.
Over a couple-year period, two different groups came to us and said, we are struggling economically. We are having some difficulty producing product. And it was both the Association of University-Related Research Parks and what was then called the National Association of Installation Developers. It's now called the Association of Defense Communities. Both organizations, yours and they, have changed their names, you only slightly. And so we decided with the board that one of our core competencies as an organization was running associations. In the case of AURP at the time, some of your board members were pretty active in QED, and they asked us to submit a proposal, and somewhat the rest is history.
Well, the board at the time was looking for someone with experience with growing associations, and so they put together an RFP and reached out to several different association management companies. And I remember going up to Baltimore for an in-person meeting with the search committee, and they liked what we had to say. And then I was invited to the convention in Chicago. And actually, it was a great way to learn about the organization and for them to spend some time with me. They selected my company, the Drohan Management Group, and myself to serve as executive director of AURP. And for the 8 years we were involved with it, we really enjoyed working with the organization, and it's really a fabulous organization, and you have a great mission and do a lot of great things. So we enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, basically, I was director of the research park at Arizona State University, and during one of the first days that I was actually director of the park, my boss sat me down and said, you know, you really should get involved with AURP. And I kind of took his advice to heart. And then we hosted a couple, I don't know if it was one or two meetings. I was asked to join the board. And then after being on the board for, I served 2 terms on the board, became a consultant to AURP, and then executive director and CEO.
Hi, Carol Stewart, Associate Vice President of Tech Parks Arizona at the University of Arizona. I became familiar with AURP in 2003 when I took on my first role in the research park industry at the University of Waterloo. In 2007, I became the Vice President of the Canadian chapter of AURP. So I held that until 2010. And then in 2010, I became the President for 4 years of that Canadian chapter, all the while holding seats on the AURP board. In 2017, I became the CEO for 2 years. And as you can see, I have a long-standing love of AURP.
there were a couple of things. When AURP came to us, unfortunately, they were broke. I don't think there was much gas in the tank, and when they ended up laying off, I think, a 3-person staff at the time, and closed down the offices in Tempe, Arizona. And they had written a budget that when we showed up to take possession of the intellectual property, the boxes, the old newsletters and things, they had failed to put in the budget the fee that they were going to pay QED for the staffing of AURP. So it was a real struggle for probably the first 18 months, 2 years. But we worked our way out of it.
I think in terms of some of the struggles and successes, I think a constant struggle is to continue to raise awareness of the unique role that university research parks play in the US and Canadian economies, that everybody understands economic development strategies and innovation, but not a lot of people realize that there is this national asset called university research parks that provide the organization and push forward all of these innovations and economic development in these different communities.
And then you helped manage AURP starting, what year was that?
Brian, I'm going to say, I think it was 2007. Yeah, because I think that was the year that the recession hit.
A perfect time to start managing a nonprofit association.
Yeah, exactly. But it worked out.
Research parks had to be, they didn't want any distractions. And of course, that was not a really good strategy. And I think AURP sort of evolved, and we got comfortable with having the private sector developers being involved with AURP. And I think some of that happened during your time as CEO.
Yeah, I would say that it was the transition during that time. And basically that was more led by big tech. I think that the fact that they created a work environment where their folks had to be working around the clock. And so it just naturally evolved that work had to become more like home. And I remember, Motorola going to lunch there, and they just had like the greatest cafeteria in the world and all these special perks and so forth. And that just sort of evolved into the fact that work is more like home and home is more like work. So you have to have mixed use places.
When I took over the leadership in 2017, I really only saw opportunities. We had such a strong network of research park leadership and emerging leaders that it was really about people, places, and programs. On the people side, we really wanted to create programs that connected our members on a regular basis. So whether that was mentorship, whether that was grooming the next level of leadership that would be taking over our roles, or whether that was peer-to-peer conversations that happened more frequently than just the conferences themselves. And place, it was really important that we learn about each and every one of our research parks, especially for those that were starting new innovation ecosystems. So the introduction to research parks was a really significant program that was just an overwhelming success, where we could actually go for 2 days, immerse ourselves as 24 research park leaders or emerging leaders, and learn about the different research parks. The mantra is, you've seen one research park, you've seen one research park. This was a program that really showed the way on that longstanding mantra that the AURP has.
A very good group of people. And it was an interesting mixture. It was a mixture of university types and a group of pragmatists, more economic development, roll up your sleeves and get it done kind of people. And I think it was the the latter group that liked the QEd style of we were very pragmatic. The academic types wanted to talk about things a little longer, didn't want to have us make decisions as quickly. And I was kind of, let's get it done, move on, let's tackle the next item.
AURP, I'm going to say that the board, now here's just because I have a different background now, because I work with all these nonprofit organizations in Southern California. And I have to say that I really, I just give thanks that AURP, its strength is that all the people who are in AURP sort of have the same job. They don't compete with each other, but yet they're all super smart and they have great ideas. And that's really, if I had a takeaway, that's the highlight, was getting to go to board meetings and really see all these ideas just bouncing around the room. Some of them were great ideas. We picked up those ones that were, and it just took it from there. And it just worked because everybody really cared about it and everybody put a lot of effort into it.
I continue to see university research parks continuing to grow and growing the economy, and I think that also I think more people really understand the unique role that they play. Here in Fairfax County or in Northern Virginia, George Mason University has really stepped up to the plate. They're doing some fantastic things in Arlington and with the new Amazon HQ2. And also Virginia Tech has a new research campus being built in Crystal City, Virginia right now. So I think in terms of just the awareness of what those two universities are doing in this community or in the greater Washington area has risen very quickly, and a lot more people understand the roles that these universities are more than just education of students. There's a role to help grow the technologies and help grow the local economies. And so I don't see that slowing down. I see that speeding up. And I think it's an excellent strategy for these communities to get behind their universities and support them in this endeavor. And universities, private sector, government support, community support, and this kind of mixture it's hard to explain, but it works, and so I see a continued bright future.
Well, I really think that technologically driven economic development is basically what is the future of of work and of the economy, especially in the United States, but probably everywhere. And I think AURP has a really important role to play, and especially the things that are happening. Certainly there would be challenges in the fact that now working from home is such a big deal. There are always all these problems in the world, and AURP,
yes.
AURP can be a force for helping to solve some of those problems. And so I think that the future looks bright for AURP.
I often say that no one goes to school to be a tech park leader, but research parks end up choosing you. There are only 700 people in the world that do what we do. And so it's really important in North America that we have our tribe to lean on, to learn from, and to lean into when we have our own issues. So AURP is a significant resource for every one of us at every stages of our career in the research park world.
Congratulations to AURP and your role in helping to continue moving them forward.
Pleasure, and I'd like to say hello to all the AURP folks, and wishing you the best for the next 35 years of success.
Well, great. Well, I want to say congratulations to everybody at AURP, and carry on the good work, and congratulations especially to Charlie Dilks, because I know this will be his last meeting, and I want to wish him the best in his retirement.
It was an honor to be one of the founding directors that created the Canadian chapter. And over a period of less than 10 years, we did $500,000 worth of projects, really focused on the economic impact of the Canadian research parks for the federal government. It's now, I'm really looking forward to AURP being in Toronto in September of 2022, and look forward to showing you the Waterloo-Toronto corridor, which includes Hamilton, and what we've built there on the research park, the university-based economic development that we've created within Southern Ontario. So look forward to seeing everybody and hosting everybody in my home backyard of Waterloo, Toronto, and Hamilton. We'll see you then. Thank you.